déjà prêt.
Micro, ça marche. Ok, maintenant ça marche. Merci. Mesdames, Messieurs, je vous remercie d'être parmi nous pour cette présentation du portail de la science du CERN, notre nouveau centre pour l'éducation et la vulgarisation scientifique. Moi, je suis Charlotte Varakaule, je suis la directrice des relations internationales ici au CERN et j'ai le plaisir d'être aujourd'hui votre maître de cérémonie. A warm welcome to all of you for this presentation of the CERN Science Gateway, our new Center for Scientific Education and Outreach. My name is Charlotte Varakaule. I am the Director for International Relations here at CERN, and it is my pleasure today to serve as the moderator of this public launch. Thank you to all the many partners and the media representatives who have joined us today on this very important occasion. And of course, a very special welcome to our speakers with us today, our CERN Director General, Dr. Fabiola Gianotti, le Président du Conseil d'État de la République and Canton de Genève, M. Antonio Hodges, the Chairman of the Fiat Chrysler Automobiles Group, Mr. John Elkann, and of course, architect Renzo Piano. This press conference is available on CERN's webcast and on the @CERN Press Twitter account, and therefore presentations today will be mostly in English. Afterwards, questions can be asked both in English and French. For those who are following us online, questions can be posted with the hashtag CERN Science Gateway. So now I turn first to our Director General, Dr. Fabiola Gianotti, who will outline the vision behind and the goals for the CERN Science Gateway.
Bonjour à tous et à toutes. Je vous souhaite à mon tour la bienvenue au CERN dans ce grand hall technique et industriel où nous préparons les technologies de demain. Vous apercevez derrière moi des grands aimants supraconducteurs de haute technologie, similaires à ceux qui sont installés 100 mètres sous nos pieds dans le grand anneau de 27 km du LHC, le Large Hadron Collider, le grand collisionneur d'hadrons. Mais si nous vous accueillons ici aujourd'hui, ce n'est pas pour vous présenter un nouvel accélérateur destiné aux physiciens, mais plutôt pour annoncer un nouveau projet d'éducation scientifique pour les grands publics. Il s'appelle le portail de la science et il aura en particulier l'objectif de susciter chez les jeunes des vocations pour les sciences et les technologies. Je vais poursuivre mon discours en anglais, mais je serai heureuse de prendre des questions en français par la suite et anche in italiano. So welcome, a warm welcome also from my end to this event. We are here to announce a new project, the Science Gateway. It's a new facility for scientific education and outreach for the general public of all ages and all backgrounds. And it will be housed in an emblematic building complex designed by Renzo Piano Building Workshop architects. So why the Science Gateway and why at CERN? Let me recall first that CERN is the largest laboratory in the world for particle physics. Our primary mission is fundamental research in particle physics. And particle physics is the most fundamental of all sciences because it studies the smallest constituents of matter and of the universe. CERN is also a driver of innovation because our ambitious physics goals require the development of very complex and innovative instruments in the field of particle accelerators, particle detectors, and computing infrastructure, and also of cutting-edge technologies in a large number of domains, from cryogenics to superconducting magnets, from instrumentation to vacuum technology, from fast electronics to big data, and so on and so forth. And these technologies are not just useful for our scientific purposes, but more in general for society, because they are transferred to society to the benefit of everyday life. Just a few weeks ago, we celebrated here at CERN the 30th anniversary of the web, together with Tim Berners-Lee, who was with us. The web was invented and developed at CERN by Sir Tim and his collaborators in 1989, and it has transformed the way society accesses information. But there are many other examples of the spin-off of the CERN technology on society, for instance, in the framework of medical applications. CERN is also a concrete example of peaceful collaboration across the world. Some 17,000 scientists of more than 110 different nationalities are involved in CERN projects. And regardless of our background, of our passport, of our ethnicity, of our tradition, our belief, our gender, here we all work together, animated by the same passions for knowledge. And last but not least, and directly related to today's event, one of CERN's mission is training and education. The training of tomorrow's scientists, physicists, engineers, and technicians, but also the education for the general public, school and students and teachers, and in general, sharing what we do with society. Now, today, CERN has a large number of educational programs and outreach activities, but they are all oversubscribed. Also, we welcome every year some 130,000 visitors on guided tours. 60% of them are high school students, but we receive 300,000 requests for visits, which we cannot satisfy fully, and we sadly have to turn more than half of them away. So this demonstrates the great interest of the public for science, in particular in the young generations, and the attractiveness of CERN. People come here because here we have unique research and scientific technical facilities. You can see some of them behind my shoulders, including 40 kilometers of underground tunnels filled with high-tech devices that people cannot find anywhere else. So CERN has an obligation to leverage such a great interest in science and also to contribute to prepare tomorrow's workforce. Because I remind you that today the number of jobs in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics is increasing 3 times faster than the number of jobs in any other field. And yet, in Europe, fewer than about 20% of the students in higher education pursue degrees in STEM. So places like CERN can help engage society with science and technology and stimulate vocations for STEM careers among the young generations. So this is the context in which we have developed the Science Gateway project, which will enable CERN and its member states and associate member states to expand significantly our scientific education offer for the general public. So the facility will be housed in an iconic building complex that Renzo Piano will discuss in a few minutes. It will be fully integrated in the brand new Esplanade des Particules and with the globe of science and innovation. You can hear some noise because we are in a real hall, people are working. It will include a large amount of activities for the general public of all ages, starting with kids from 5 years up. And these activities will cover permanent and temporary exhibitions, immersive tours, exploration of CERN technologies, laboratories with hands-on experiments for children and students from primary to high school, and a 900-seater auditorium for scientific conference for experts and the general public, for debates on scientific and societal challenges, and many other events. With the Science Gateway, we want to inspire the visitors, in particular the young generation, with the beauty of science. We want to stimulate curiosity, we want to stimulate creativity and critical thinking. We want to share the fascination and our passion for the elementary particles, so the very small that we study here, and the very large, the structure and evolution of the universe. We want to show that science is beautiful and useful. We want to showcase the technologies that enable science and society to make great leaps forward and explain how fundamental research can impact our lives. We want the young visitors in particular to learn about concepts like the scientific method, evidence-based assessment, critical thinking, which are very useful in all walks of life. And we want the public to interact with the CERN physicists and engineers and to experience the daily work of a scientist firsthand. I must say that myself, I originally got into physics because I was a very curious child, and I wanted to understand how the universe works. Quite low-profile ambition, I must say. And there is nothing more rewarding in my professional life over the past 30 years than learning a bit more every day and contributing in my little corner and together with 1,000 of colleagues involved in CERN project to the advancement of human knowledge. And this is the unique experience that we want to offer to the Science Gateway visitors. The construction of the building will start in 2020 and will be completed in 2022. The total cost of the project is some 79 million Swiss francs, of which 65 for the building and 14 for the educational content. The project will be entirely funded through donations, and as of today, we have secured 57 million Swiss francs, and I would like to thank warmly the partners that have helped us to make the Science Gateway a reality. First of all, the main donor, the FCA, Fiat Chrysler Automobile Foundation, represented here by its chairman, John Elkann, for their generosity and their crucial contribution. Grazie, John. A private foundation in Geneva, and the Fonds de répartition des bénéfices de la Loterie Romande. I would also like to thank the Canton de Genève, represented here by its president, Antonio Hodges, for their support. Merci, Antonio, pour être là. And of course, I would like to thank the member states and associated member states for their commitment to CERN, and in particular to the Science Gateway, and to the many friends here in international Geneva and far beyond for helping us shape the project. And I'm going to conclude by emphasizing that all the partners of the Science Gateway, CERN, Renzo Piano and his architects, the donors, the canton, we all share the values behind it. We are undertaking this project together because we believe in human curiosity and creativity. We believe in science and education. We believe in technology. We believe in peaceful collaborations across borders. And we believe in education open to all and accessible by all. And these are the values that we will try to promote with the Science Gateway, and we hope to be able to attract more donors soon and more partners, and also that once the center opens in 2022, the public can enjoy such a unique experience. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Director General. Maintenant, j'ai l'honneur de passer la parole au président du Conseil d'État de la République et canton de Genève, M. Antonio Hodges. À vous la parole.
Merci. Mesdames et messieurs, une fois encore, le CERN apporte à Genève un rayonnement qui dépasse ses frontières cantonales, même nationales, et qui marque les esprits. On connaît la Genève du multilatéralisme diplomatique, on connaît moins la Genève du multilatéralisme scientifique. Et c'est ça qu'est le CERN, c'est rassembler des scientifiques du monde entier dans la recherche fondamentale et la recherche scientifique dans un but pacifique. Et ce projet, il a de fantastique qu'il permet justement à ce CERN, dont la recherche est assez souterraine, on a visité, il faut aller plusieurs dizaines de mètres sous le sol pour voir les installations, eh bien, ce projet fait ressortir la science, les installations au grand jour et ouvertes au public. Et c'est pour le gouvernement genevois une implantation forte que le CERN sorte finalement de ses laboratoires, s'adresse à la cité, s'adresse au public à travers une œuvre dédiée à l'éducation, dédiée à la vulgarisation scientifique et liée à la valorisation de la recherche fondamentale. Il est aujourd'hui, dans ce XXIe siècle, avec les enjeux que l'on sait climatiques, de pollution, d'énergie, de santé, eh bien, chaque fois derrière ces enjeux, il y a la science quand même. On est sur des enjeux éminemment scientifiques. Il est donc fondamental que notre jeunesse puisse être sensibilisée aux enjeux scientifiques, qu'elle puisse développer cet amour de la connaissance, le plaisir du savoir pour le savoir, puisque le CERN fait de la recherche fondamentale. Bien sûr, il y a des applications après scientifiques et économiques, mais à la base, la recherche, elle est fondamentale. Elle est basée sur la nécessité pour l'être humain de connaître les choses, de l'univers en l'occurrence, et que ces jeunes aient cet amour de la science dans une approche de rigueur scientifique. Alors, ce portail de la science, il est pour le CERN, mais ça sera aussi pour Genève un portail du canton, puisqu'il se situera sur l'entrée du territoire, avec un magnifique lieu où on franchit une frontière que vous ne connaissez pas, vous, CERN, dans la frontière franco-suisse, mais que, évidemment, les États-nations connaissent, et qui, là, marquera une des portes d'entrée superbes de Genève. Ce portail, vous le savez, sera réalisé par l'architecte de renommée internationale Renzo Piano, ce qui permet à Genève, à l'égard de Berne et de Bâle, je crois que c'est là où vous avez deux autres œuvres, eh bien, de bénéficier aussi d'avoir un apport de ce type. Bien, merci. Je conclurai en remerciant particulièrement Madame Gianotti pour sa flamme, la flamme qu'elle a eue autour de ce projet de réunir des acteurs d'architecture, d'investissement privé, d'accompagnement public, et c'est vraiment avec une énorme fierté que le canton de Genève s'engage sur le chemin. Merci aussi à Fiat Chrysler de ressouligner la philanthropie privée dans les projets de cette envergure. C'est une vieille tradition genevoise que d'avoir ces investissements. Et bien sûr, merci bien sûr à Renzo Piano pour l'apport décisif, mais il développera son idée tout à l'heure. Merci beaucoup encore.
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur le Président, pour votre allocution et aussi pour le soutien de la République et canton de Genève. Merci beaucoup. It's now my pleasure to introduce the chairman of the Fiat Chrysler Automobiles Group, Mr. John Elkann.
Merci. Bonjour. Good morning. Buongiorno. It is truly an honor to be here today to announce our collaboration with CERN on this one-of-a-kind project of enormous value to society. Our commitment on this project is twofold. On the one hand, FCA will be the largest single donor to the Science Gateway. On the other, the Agnelli Foundation will work to develop a program to engage Italian high school students on subjects around STEM in order to also have other member states who will follow. We have embraced this project for several reasons. Le Conseil européen pour la recherche nucléaire, which later became the European Organization for Nuclear Research, that we all know as CERN, is the largest laboratory in the world for particle physics, which was founded to discover what the universe is made of and how it works. Some of the most important advances in the study and application of particle physics have been made right here at CERN in Geneva, of which the Higgs boson, which Fabiola knows about, which has been referred to as the God particle, was discovered. We are honored to be able to make our contribution to the sharing of the unique knowledge that sits in this institution through the development of the Science Gateway. We are committed to this project because of the values we share with CERN. Recently, Fabiola Gianotti sent me a copy of the convention that established CERN in 1953. 2 pages particularly struck me because they express something I fully share. They describe the willingness of different nations to collaborate with the peaceful common purpose of advancing our knowledge in fundamental science for the ultimate benefit of society. This is the same positive spirit which every day on the International Space Station, astronauts from over 20 countries work to make human life in space possible. There are places where our differences are not an obstacle, but a strength. Places where different cultures, experiences, and languages bring people together instead of keeping them apart. Places where different perspectives allows us to achieve better solutions. CERN is without a doubt such a place. And to understand the spirit of this, not very far from here, one experience that I had the opportunity, thanks to Fabiola, was to be in the canteen. And the canteen is really where you see how everybody comes together, and you have 113 nations from the research body coming from more than 600 universities. And in that place, you actually see and appreciate how it all comes together in an harmonious way. Importantly, for us, with the Science Gateway, we will also be honoring Sergio Marchionne by naming the auditorium after him. The link between Sergio and the Science Gateway is profoundly significant. Sergio loved physics. He had a strong interest in the universal laws that allow us to understand our world, and expressed on several occasions his desire to resume his studies. Once retired in order to learn more and deepen his knowledge of physics. What Sergio did in his life, in his studies, and in his career, and also what is being done here every day at CERN, and we see it physically where we are now, is fundamentally linked with numbers, data, measurable quantities, comparisons with reality, and continuous tests and double checks. On one side, numbers, but there's another side, equally important, which deals with imagination, with the courage to challenge conventional wisdoms, and the ability to make possible the seemingly impossible. I believe in this fruitful collision. Scientific research to understand the world in which we live now, and the imagination to create new worlds where we could live together in the future. Through education and outreach, we can spread these ideas so much further. This is why we at FCA, as a company and as a foundation, are committed to education. Ultimately, it's all about enabling people of all ages to discover the wonders of science. And above all, it's about trusting them. We strongly believe that people can and will find the right answers for the big challenges we face today, and more importantly, the ones we'll face in the future. Thank you. And I also wanted to thank very much Fabiola Gianotti and CERN for this opportunity, and I'm very happy to be working on another project with Renzo Piano, with whom personally, but mostly as a family, we have a very strong history together. Grazie, Renzo.
Thank you very much, Mr. Elkin, for the strong support for the project and also for the very powerful and eloquent reminder of the origins of CERN. It's now my privilege to introduce architect Renzo Piano, who will present the plans for this iconic building that will be the home of the CERN Science Gateway. Piano will also be showing the models that are in front of you, and as he moves around, you will be able to follow that on the screens. Mr. Piano?
Thank you. I think I will walk around. Merci d'abord d'être venu dans ce lieu de charme. Je suis charmé, moi, par cet endroit. C'est génial. Grazie di essere venuti. I know I have to speak English, and I will switch to English. Fine. It's just the beginning. But we know, roughly, we know what we want today. The Science Gateway will be a little town flying above Rue de Marin, and connecting the two parts of the CERN. That's the idea. You see? It's a little town, well, populated by, say, 2,000 or 3,000 people a day, sometimes more than that, maybe even 4 or 5 someday. So it's a little town, really. The metaphor is not the wrong one. And connected by a street and a bridge. I love the bridges. They do a good job. Bridges do a good job. And this bridge also makes a good job, connecting, physically and metaphorically, of course. And that's basically the idea. And this little village will fly on the forest. Well, you know, there is no forest for the moment. But we will have a forest. I'm not joking. I think that it's a nice idea that science and nature come together. So that's basically the idea. We make that building landing on ground on the forest that still don't exist but will exist soon. We will plant trees, and those roofs will capture the sun, the energy from the sun. Well, let's try to explain very quickly. I don't want to take too much of your time anyway, but let's try to explain very quickly. This is the model. We have 5 pavilions, we call pavilions. They are little buildings connected by the street and the bridge. When I say street, I mean, thank you. When I say street, I mean pedestrian street, of course. It's elevated street. It's flying 6 meters above ground. And that's why all this fly in the trees. It's not just a poetic vision, it's a necessity, because of course the bridge must be high enough to be able to pass with the traffic on Rue de Marin. So the 5 pavilion, this is the South Pavilion, and it's about, well, interactive activity. It's a museum, but it's interactive. We call this hands-on. People will come, young people, whoever come, and they will have an active connection to the activity of the CERN. Then we have the 2 tunnels. The 2 tunnels are, they are by the, well, you can see from the pictures there. The 2 tunnels are housing the permanent exhibition of the museum. Well, it's a museum. It's difficult to say. I mean, it's a learning center. This building is difficult to define You don't make a museum of something that is still moving all the time. But still is a museum because there is a history already. We have pieces on this side that are part of a story, long story now. So in the same time it's a museum, in the same time it's an education center, it's a learning center, it's a mix of many, many different things. But we still need an exhibition that is not temporary because we have a collection of pieces. We have beautiful pieces. You can see some of those pieces around. Well, they are not on the museum for the moment, but they will be one day. But we have already pieces. So those are the two pavilions. Sorry. Then we have the North Pavilion. This is where we have the classroom. Because I said before, it's a real school. It's a school where we have children and young people coming. So here we have a classroom on the level of the bridge, and underneath we have the reception, and below that, this is a piazza. We are using the land. The land goes down. It's not flat. Underneath that, we have the restaurant. And then we have a fifth pavilion that is the auditorium. That's the building there. You see that building there, that model. I'm sorry. That building there is an auditorium. It's a flexible space, big. It's for 900 seats that can be divided in different parts. So it's a very flexible space. Well, you understand, I'm not going to be too long, but you understand from the mixing of those elements, auditorium, classroom, restaurant, reception, permanent exhibition, and interactive activity, that is a mix of many things coming together. It's not easy to define, but it's part of the beauty of it. It's not easy because it's not a museum, it's not a school, it's not a research center, but it's a bit of all those things. So fundamentally, well, you see this picture there shows what you see when you go up on Route de Merin, and you will have those buildings that, well, it's fundamentally the idea that the building is made by few things. Well, the street, that is at the same time a bridge, that's the connecting element that connects everything. That's a place where every people will meet. And then we have the sun captors that are capturing the energy from the sun. We have the two tunnels there that are in some way reminding that the real nature of CERN is underground. Well, we are not replicating the real tunnel, but the tunnel are there underground, and nobody sees. So in some way, the building is related to the sky, and is related to the ground where things are. And we have forest. We have a forest. All this space is going to be a forest, connecting, by the way, this with the globe, the science globe that is there in this position. So all this will become, well, I have also to say something very important. This building will be sustainable. It's a fundamental element. Earth is fragile, we know that. And this is a place where the universe is under research. It's sustainable because the sun captors on the roof, the solar panel, we have 5,600 square meters of them. They will be able to capture energy from the sun or from the light. And also we have geothermal. So altogether this building will be what we call carbon-free or carbon neutral. It's a very important element. I mean, we are not going to teach about the universe by making a big mistake and by not showing that the building can be carbon-free. It's a fundamental element of it. I think I should say something about timing. What you see is the beginning of schematic design. We have something like 1 year, a bit less than 1 year to make the project altogether. It's a great team. I have a member of my office here. And of course, working with scientists is a pleasure. It's a pleasure. It's a constant ping pong. And the ball moves very fast. Ping pong, very quickly. It's very interesting. So we will have a bit less than 1 year. And then we will start construction. That is about 2 years. So I think you can, all of you, come back here in, say, when? Springtime, fall, 2022, something like that. It's not far away. It's not far away. We will do it. I can go on forever, but I don't want to take too much of time. I know you have a question to ask, but I have to say something about making buildings, you know. I love making buildings. It's my job. Making building is always a gesture of civic pride. It's a great civic gesture, making building. Especially when you make public building. And among public building, the most important are educational building. I love making school, making universities, research center, hospital, whatever. And this is because you make places where people share the same value. Because people, you know, by making public building, you make places where people come. It doesn't matter what they are. If they are universities, to learn. If they are museums, to enjoy beauty of art. If they are concert halls, to share the music. It's about creating better place to live, better cities. And making this building is probably even more important than that, because it's about something fantastic that belongs to our secret chords, to everybody. Everybody. Everybody has been lying on the grass in the middle of August, watching up the star and dreaming, thinking, going back to bed saying, my God, what a mystery. So it's something magic. So making public building is great, making building for education is even better, but making a building about mystery of universe is even more important. It's really about something that nobody talks, never. It's about beauty. It's not aesthetic beauty, it's not the visible beauty. It's the invisible beauty. It's about the secret curiosity of human being, about where we are, where we come from, all that. I'm not going to do a long discussion about that, but you all understand that this is the real point. And that beauty makes people better people, believe me. Because people come here will understand more and more about something that is so fundamental for our living. And, you know, the beauty I'm talking about, you understand, has nothing to do with the cosmetics. It has to do with the secret chords of our being. And believe me, around here you will find a lot of beautiful minds. Beautiful minds. That's a place for beautiful minds. And that's the reason why you say beautiful person, beautiful minds. That's the beauty I'm talking about. And I will stop here. I'm very pleased you are here and we make this here. Thank you, Fabiola. That was a great idea. Look at the beauty of those things. And by the way, we are not going to do the same, but we will be very close to this. The building we are designing is not going to be a showroom. It will be part of this logic. That is science, is research, it's technology, it's construction. So I think it's a very good idea to do here, because when you look at those magnets there, when you look at those machines and all that, you understand what this building will be. I hope. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Piano, for outlining so beautifully your vision for the Science Gateway, and to all of our speakers for their introductory remarks. We now open for questions and answers, and this part will be moderated by my colleague Arnaud Massolier, who is right in front of us. He's the head of CERN and media relations here at CERN. Please raise your hand if you wish to ask a question. You can ask in either English or in French, and introduce yourself and the media that you represent. And as I mentioned earlier, it is also possible to ask questions by posting on Twitter using hashtag CERN Science Gateway. And I also take this opportunity to introduce my colleague Patrick Gerard, who is with us. He is the project leader for Science Gateway, and he can also answer questions on the implementation of the project. Arnaud?
Micro, please. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have questions, please raise your hand. You can also stand up. We'll get one question at a time to give the opportunity to everyone to ask questions. So, I don't know who would like to start. No questions?
Unusual.
It was so clear.
No questions? We have simply...
So we have microphone if you want to. Yeah, you go. Can you stand, please? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, we can see you.
Sure. Just had a question for Mr. Piano. The design of the planned center has these tubes in it, which obviously kind of reflect what most of us don't see underground, the Hadron Collider. But it also makes me think of one of your most famous buildings, the Pompidou Center in Paris. So I was just wondering if you could tell us a little bit about the inspiration for the design, particularly the tubes that run the length of the road. Thank you.
La forma dei tunnel?
Sì, no, la forma dell'edificio.
Ah.
Come ti è venuto in mente? Insomma.
Well, when you start the project, you never start from the final form, of course. It's a process, and I think it's a fragmented form, because those fragments are really corresponding to different functions, as I said before. The connection of the bridge will be very strong, even formally speaking. And the other thing important is that all these fly 6 meters. So when you have the forest, what you see when you walk in the forest, in the park, that will be part of the Science Gateway, you will see the trunks, and then you will see the columns supporting the building. So you are going to walk through. This idea of not touching ground is important. I think it is about levitation. This is a place of levitation. I'm sorry not to be precise, but I will be against nature to tell you exactly what is this. I mean, it's not true. It's not true that form follows function. I mean, form is at the beginning of the process. I mean, it's not true. I mean, when you design something, you put together many things coming to functionality, construction, cost, time, schedule, poetry, and of course the idea of the final form. Certainly the 2 tunnels are an evocation, a kind of allusion to the tunnel that are really underground, for sure. But even the sun captors have a kind of reference. Maybe somebody may easily find the connection to the space lab moving in the sky. This is not necessarily wrong, it's not correct. I think that the process of designing is going to tell us more exactly what is the... But of course, semantics are important. I mean, architecture is not the art of answering need, but also the art of answering to desires or to aspiration or to dreams. So I know that. I cannot give you an answer exact, but the building will be industrial. Industrial in the sense that you normally associate to industrial building. It will be done of pieces coming together, a bit like this, but in a different scale. I'm sorry not to be very precise, but...
Thank you, Mr. Piano. Other questions in French or in English, please? Yeah. Can you have a... Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Pictet from the Fondation pour Genève. I wanted to ask to Fabiola Gianotti maybe a question. The CERN has certainly a long-term plan for expansion or for some kind of change of direction or whatever. How is that going to affect the gateway of science in any way?
Thank you, Ivan, for the very good question. So clearly, CERN has also plans for expanding scientifically. We are now thinking of the next accelerators after the Large Hadron Collider, and at the moment, the European community of particle physicists is developing our roadmap for the future, and of course, we have ambitions for a bigger tunnel. At the moment, at the level of design studies, not yet approved, but as you perhaps know, one possibility will be a linear collider up to 50-kilometer length on the slope of the Jura, or a circular collider of a circular ring of 100 kilometers. Of course, a big infrastructure, a bigger collider will require CERN to build some different sites, secondary sites. If you have a 100-kilometer tunnel, we cannot just have one, but CERN headquarters will remain here. It's here that the visitors will come. It's here the visitors will land or will come by train. It's very good that we are connected by the tram, so people can come to the science gateway without using their car. Sorry, John, but it's so the CERN headquarters will remain here. So the expansion of CERN, of course, will go to the glory of the scientific, impact of CERN, but they will bring also a lot of benefit to the science gateway. And the science gateway, I think, will also be a way for us to encourage and inspire the public and also get the support of society for our projects.
Can you please tell who you are?
Good morning, Federico Brunetti, Politecnico di Milano. I'm very happy to have been invited to this conference, and I was completely sure that this event about the connection between architecture from Renzo Piano and the history of research in science as the same connection to the search of the beauty. And I'm very happy that this connection had suggested. One question which was related to the icon which was proposed in the press office release. Not only about the dynamics of the tube, which connect evidently the technology of CERN, LHC, but also the image of the sphere, which has been presented as a global vision of a planet's life and the research about science in how this will be presented. The globe is already in the history of CERN as a communication means, as a spherical element, and it seems to me that so the question is the poetic and the metaphoric dimension of the sphere between art and science.
Vuole sapere del globo, vuole sapere l'interpretazione del globo sul resto di Science Gateway e l'interpretazione iconica.
Ah, sì, sì. Il globo e le cose. Ah, mais ça tombe bien. Sorry, let's speak English. I love the connection with the globe. I think it's a great. It's a bit too lonely now. It's there in the middle of the car parking. By making this forest and connecting everything, this will become more interesting. The globe will be fundamentally destined to temporary exhibition and all those things, and that space is spectacular for that function. So I think the integration of the two buildings, I mean the globe and the new building, the new learning center, up and through the forest. The forest will be the unifying element, and the two are working together beautifully, because the globe will be more about spatial happening and spatial exhibition, and this will be more kind of a more educational, interactive classroom, big meeting, 900 seats and all that. So I think that all that area will become very interesting, and the connection between the globe and this, I think, will be. By the way, this building is only 15 meters tall, so this will be practically swimming in the trees. The trees we plant will be in the range of 10, 12 meters when we plant. Then they will grow up to 15, 20 meters. The globe is much taller, so this, and I think it will still have the function of iconic reference of the, but that's fine, that's part of the history. I mean, the history of architecture is made of additions, one to the other, and the addition reinforces what is already there.
Thank you. Maybe one last question, please. Anyone? Yes, please.
J'arrive pas à comprendre parce que l'acoustique n'est pas bonne.
Bonjour.
Can you stand?
Ah oui, vous voulez me voir. Bonjour. Je viens d'un tout petit pays qui n'est pas membre du CERN, c'est la Moldavie. Et j'aimerais savoir, parce que moi je n'ai pas très bien compris si ce portail qui est ouvert au monde, bien sûr, et pour tout le monde, est-ce que c'est ouvert aussi aux écoles et universités des pays qui ne sont pas membres, ou seulement la France, la Suisse qui sont à côté? Et à quelles conditions une école moldave viendra passer quelques jours dans cet endroit magnifique? Merci pour plus de détails.
Oui. Merci pour cette question. Oui, bien sûr, le centre sera ouvert à tout le monde. Aujourd'hui, le CERN accueille ces 130 000 visiteurs du monde entier. En fait, 80% des visiteurs viennent d'une distance de plus de 700 km. Donc, il n'y a pas seulement la population locale, mais il y a la population du monde entier qui va venir, qui va visiter. Donc, il y aura des visiteurs, mais il y aura des programmes ciblés pour les écoles, pour les écoliers du primaire, secondaire. C'est un peu trop tôt maintenant pour dire exactement comment le contenu éducatif va évoluer, parce qu'on est en train de l'élaborer avec les partenaires comme la Fondation Agnelli et d'autres instituts d'éducation, des centres de communication scientifique des pays membres. Mais on aura à la fois des visites, on aura à la fois aussi des programmes visés pour les enfants de différentes tranches d'âge, mais c'est clair que c'est ouvert au monde entier. Le CERN est ouvert à tout le monde. Nos visiteurs peuvent venir des pays membres, non membres, et c'est vraiment une place qui attire les gens et qui essaie de promouvoir la rencontre, l'échange à travers les peuples.
Well, thank you very much for the questions. This will then conclude our presentation today. Thank you very much to all our speakers and to the media representatives for being here. The speakers and the CERN experts will now be available for interviews. Please be in touch with the press officers who are in the room with your requests. And for invited partners and friends, there will now be a tour of the hall here led by my colleague Freddie Baudry. the Director for Accelerators and Technology, so that you can have a greater appreciation for this particular part of CERN, and the bus towards the main building will leave at 12:25. Thank you very much to all of you for being here. The presentation is now closed.